Good afternoon, and thank you for taking time away from your families and businesses to join us for this Epic Insight. This is Brian Lenz, Director of Sales here at Epic Retirement Plan Services, and I'll be your host for today's call. We're joined by Dave Briggs of Broadridge Advisor Solutions to kickstart your 2021 marketing efforts. As Vice President of Corporate Training for Broadridge, Dave has presented and continues to present training event webinars and seminars to thousands of financial professionals throughout the country on proven sales and marketing principles. We're glad to have Dave to share with us his highly regarded marketing insights. Dave, take it away.
Thank you, Brian. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll just appear for a few moments just to say hello to everyone. We know that these are challenging times, and we hope that all of you and your families and friends are enduring this pandemic as best as you can. But we look forward today to presenting this webinar and workshop on preparing for 2021 as it relates to marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and disappear now and jump into the presentation that we have for you today. Again, we are going to be talking about your marketing plan for 2021. And I think for many of you, this may very well be a very consequential presentation in that I can't think of, under the current circumstances, where more can be done to help you improve with your business priorities than putting together an effective marketing plan for this coming year. Statistics suggest, they're not listed here, but a recent study by the industry taught us that only 33% of advisors actually claim that they have a marketing plan. Only 11% of advisors have actually written that plan out into a working document. And sadly, only 3% have actually fully implemented their marketing plan. So we hope to change a few of those concerns, and we hope that all of you will choose to engage at one level or another in a workable marketing plan that will reward you for this coming year. Speaking of statistics, you'll read from this slide here that a marketing plan has strong advantages to you as a financial advisor. Only 1/4 of advisors have a defined marketing strategy and/or plan, but these advisors are reaping the rewards year after year after year. For example, those who have a marketing strategy that's well defined, they have acquired significantly more new clients over the past 12 months. That is, those with a plan that has been implemented, they're adding about 24 new clients per year versus those without a plan acquiring 14 on average. They express a lot more confidence about the future and their ability to grow their practice. Those who have a plan, 75% of them are highly motivated, highly confident that they will meet with success because of the plan that they have put together. 41% without a plan feel the same. You're inclined or likely to generate 2 times more leads per month from your website. Now, a website is not necessarily a prospecting tool, to be sure, but what's interesting is that if you're receiving referrals, part of that chain of events that leads to them wanting to talk with you is a visit to your website. And why the visit to your website? Well, you've all experienced it. It is so that they can validate who you are and what you do. And for those with a plan that includes optimizing their website, they're getting 5.3 more leads per month versus 2.1. And finally, you're more likely with the plan to have adapted to the pandemic by increasing use of digital events as well as webinars. Right now, Zoom is just a part of our daily language. And even though there are lots of other virtual meeting platforms, Zoom seems to be the most popular one, at least as a point of discussion. And 78% have adapted to this pandemic using digital or virtual events who have a plan versus the 57% who do not have a plan. Now, some of the strategic factors to consider. These are like building blocks for you as you anticipate putting together, constructing your marketing plan. Some of the key performance indicators that you want to attach to the plan as indicators of progress and accomplishment would include such variables as adding additional AUM, assets under management. Another key indicator of growth and success through your plan would be adding additional or more clients to your book of business. I would like to stop right there and say not just clients, but I would also add to that filling your pipeline full of qualified prospects, as you see in the next slot there, because you want to be working with a certain class or breed of client. You want the best client or prospects possible in order to accomplish your goals. And finally, maybe it's a function of your close rate, closing those who are prospects or referrals and onboarding them as new clients. Maybe it's having a webinar for the public where you have filled your virtual seats with 30 or so individuals, and half or more of them want to have a virtual meeting with you as a follow-up for a complimentary consultation. So anyway, there are some measurable ways to demonstrate how well your marketing plan is working for you. Some of the other factors to consider will be, we'll talk about this in a moment, your mission statement. That's kind of the center of your universe. We'll talk about that. Some of your core values. We've heard a lot about the BI, best interest. I don't know how many of you are RIAs where you are already a fiduciary and you think in terms of best interest, or if up until now it's been more of a suitability concern between you and your clients. But what are your core values? And I have to tell you that clients and prospects, they do measure their advisor based on just the yield or performance of their assets. There's a lot to be said for character and integrity, best interest of the client being put forth first. SWOT, you've heard this term before. It's an acronym for measuring your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities that are out there, as well as threats. And you will have to be the judge of that. Well, not necessarily the only judge. You might turn to a spouse or partner or a colleague or a good friend or one of your centers of influence and maybe get some insight from them as to what they perceive your strengths to be. Also, your weaknesses. It's nice to have your weaknesses exposed. I think we're very good at covering up for ourselves through our ability to rationalize, but all of us come packaged with strengths as well as weaknesses. And I just want to pass along that one of your goals might be turning one of your weaknesses into a strength. It might be your ability to close, to convert a person from prospect to client. It might be better customer service at your office, especially under these pandemic circumstances and so forth. Opportunities, believe it or not, from Broadbridge's standpoint, opportunities have never been better. Do you realize that 25% of the public, 1 out of every 4 individuals, are now looking for a financial advisor that have never looked for a financial advisor before, because they have seen the incredible volatility of the marketplace, not just as it relates to their investments, but other questions of concern, including estate planning. We are seeing unprecedented levels of mortality and death due to this pandemic, which is turning people into a life event where they realize that they probably had not focused enough on some of these life circumstance issues that become opportunities for you, both for your clients as well as prospects. And threats. There are threats to your business. Since 2015, when you onboarded a new client, chances were that 10% of those new clients of yours came from a competitor, which is moderate. That's not too bad, that just 1 out of every 10 new clients came from a competitor. Well, now that statistic, just 4 or 5 years since that time, has grown to 35% and rising, meaning that 35% of new clients to an advisor are coming from the competition. What does that mean? That means that a far more of the financial advisors are losing clients to their competitors as well. So just be aware of that. And also another threat, not all threats are external. You also need to be aware of internal threats. And I just for the point of today, so a little bit selfish of me, but I would even suggest that not having a comprehensive written marketing plan that you implement could also prove to be a threat to your business. And also be mindful of your competitors. Your very best clients naturally are your competitors' very best prospects. So with that in mind, I would recommend all of you look at your existing client profiles. By that I mean take a look at the demographics of your book of business. Take a look at what the average minimum investable assets. In fact, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to say, look at your top 10 clients, your most preferred clients as it relates to your business interests, not emotional friendships or anything like that, but purely from a point of view of a business asset. Take a look at your top 10 clients and learn from who they are. Do they have a minimum level of investable assets? Do they have a minimum level of household income? Is there an age range? Maybe it's 35 to 45, maybe it's 45 to 55, or getting into the baby boomer generation, 55 to 65 and even older. Sometimes marital status affects the optimum type of person you want to work with. It is unbelievable to me how strong, for example, single women marketplace is. Single women tend to have some different types of planning goals and objectives as well as challenges. And we have found it from a Broadridge standpoint that working with single women due to whatever the circumstance may have been, they now have some very vital financial interests and concerns. And also females, women in this country, they make most of the family decisions when it relates to finances. I can certainly vouch for that being true in my household. Also, you can segment your book of business, whether it's retirement planning, which obviously most of you are engaged in and involved in through 401k activity or otherwise, business owners, as well as professionals, maybe physicians or architects or dentists or engineers, you name it. There's a segment out there that is waiting for you, or if you're already working with one or more of these segments, maybe you can optimize the type of relationship building that is required. Now, define your objectives. Are your objectives going to be among these four, or all of these four? Increase the number of qualified prospects. Again, when it comes to a qualified prospects, that takes discipline, meaning that you're only going to work with individuals presumably that your target is that they have $500,000 or more of investable assets. In some parts of the country, it might be $100,000 or more. You be the judge on that. But you need to make sure, and what's their annualized household income? Some parts of the country, maybe it's $75,000 a year. Other parts, maybe it's $100,000 or even $250,000 or more. Again, you use and determine what criteria. And again, looking at your book of business, that's a good indication to you who you might work with the best as it relates to what your new definition is for a qualified prospect. Develop multi-generational relationship. Just as recently as 2 years ago, it was anticipated that there would be a $30 trillion transfer of assets from one generation to the next. Well, that has grown over the past few years from 30 trillion to now $62 trillion. That is amazing to me. And maybe you need to develop that multi-generational relationship from, it might be a baby boomer client who's a parent or grandparent who is soon to be transferring their assets to their children and or their grandchildren. Retain current clients. I remember as an advisor for 20 years, client retention was just as important as client growth. And, they used to call it, maybe they still do, a persistency rate. And I know that I always strove to retain 98% of my clients year to year. Well, I've got some news for you. Don't think that everybody has a 98% retention rate, because they don't. And I certainly did not year to year. Some years were better than others. But what's important is you set a goal and you put in your marketing plan how you're going to retain more clients. Maybe it has to do with your customer service representatives that are now having to work virtually. Maybe it has to do with your product offering, to where people are preferring a little bit more holistic approach to their finances versus a very focused, esoteric vision of what you can do for them. So just keep that in mind as you develop this marketing plan. And of course, the natural is to grow your assets under management, either through an upsell or through a cross-sell opportunity with a current client, or maybe it's a function of the retention as well as a function of onboarding the right types of clients. Again, feature these objectives in your marketing plan. Here's an interesting statistic from our recent survey that we conducted, and that is last year, the top objective for financial advisors was new assets acquired. And this year, that is as recently as our study that we had on growth-centered marketing, the primary goal is to add new clients. And I just introduced that to you because there needs to be a little bit of flexibility moving forward as to how you look at the goals and objectives relevant to your building of the marketing plan. Now, identify your target market and your core messaging. Again, who do you want to attract? This, again, takes discipline. Early in my career, I would speak to anybody who said yes to my request for a meeting or an appointment. And then a couple of years into my career, I remember another financial advisor whom I knew and respected. And his advice to me was, David, you have some good skills. You provide a quality product in terms of a financial plan. The products and services that you offer are competitive. He said, my only suggestion to you, and again, this was me as a young man, was to be more disciplined in the type of people I worked with. And then he told me something I have never forgotten. He said, if you want to raise your income, work with individuals who have a same or similar income as your own. If you only want to make $50,000 a year, then work with $50,000 a year clients. If you want to make $100,000 a year, then work with $100,000 a year income clients. On up the line. Well, the last 10 years of my career, you probably are way ahead of me, my practice was exclusively dedicated to the professionals, namely the medical industry, and then it became physicians. And then the last 5 years of my financial planning career was to work with surgeons who perform surgery in the surgery center. And I can tell you right now, that wisdom from that gentleman who I deeply respected was right. As I changed my market and my marketing plan reflected that, my income changed dramatically. All right, core messaging. You need to also identify 3 important items for your marketing plan. What is your mission statement? I call that the filter. You need to share your mission statement with others, your clients, your prospects, in your marketing material and collateral, on your website. You need to have a mission statement that the reader of that mission statement will readily understand and appreciate the essence of who you are and what you do. No more than 4 or 5 sentences is necessary, but this is the filter, so that when people that would not be good clients or prospects for you, they self-eliminate, because this mission statement is a filter. You might say something like, we have specialized in working with high net worth clients with X number of dollars to invest. And that will tell people whether you're the person they're looking for or not. Or when it comes to retirement planning, your mission statement might help others that come to your website or read about your mission statement, that what your expertise is in the area of retirement planning, even if it's just specifically regarding 401ks. Tell you how old I am. Back when I was a financial advisor, Keogh plans were the plan of the day for retirement planning, mostly because doctors, they could high income earners could really leverage those Keogh plans back then. Not so much anymore. Value proposition. What differentiates you from your competition? I can tell you right now that one of the most important differentiators between you and your competitors is not necessarily the products and services that you represent. The prime differentiator will be your thought leadership. That is what will separate you largely from the competition. Now, there are other variables, of course, but if you are and want to be perceived as a thought leader, you need to figure out ways to deliver that message and make it part of your brand. Are you maintaining frequent, meaningful contact with your clients and your prospects by personal interaction, now through Zoom or through phone calls, through emails, in addition to specified digital-driven marketing tools and techniques that are available to you? That's how they begin to understand that you're not just someone with products and services to present, but you're also someone they can look up to and respect because of your thought leadership. And that resonates with all levels of clients. And finally, what's important to your target market? Will the content and the products and services you offer resonate with them? In particular, the content. We used to call it communication. Now we call it engagement, because communication is just sending out anything and everything to as many people as you can. But engagement is when you send out materials in the form of videos, articles, calculators, white papers, etc. If it resonates with your target market, that is how you engage with them. Now, build your plan. There's a lot of components that will go into the building of your plan that you'll have to consider. For example, again, from our survey this year, websites has become the most attractive in terms of investment. And I think that that is good. It's not the only way to go from a marketing standpoint, but you need to have a website that will meet client and prospect expectations. The only thing worse than not having a website, for example, is having a website that does not meet customer or prospect expectations. So make sure that your website is the type of website that you are proud of, that a visitor to your website would be attracted to because of the information, your picture, your team's picture, your bio, the products and services that you offer, also content that would resonate with them so that they will want to spend time on your website, not to become do-it-yourselfers, but to learn that there's a lot of breadth and depth to what you can do for them. And part of that judgment is based on the content of your website. Also, in-person events, we look forward to those returning to us sooner than later, but that desire has been going up, but the ability has been going down. Webinars, let's just chat a moment for webinars. I cannot believe the amount of success with advisors who are giving webinars, Zoom meetings, either with their clients for the annual or semi-annual review, or for a topical presentation on a matter that's of most interest. You know how many people have been separated from their companies and are no longer working for their employer due to COVID. That means that they have assets sitting in their 401k that are looking for a home. Either those assets can stay there, or they can move with the employee to the new job that may occur, or they can move that money into an individual IRA. But I got to tell you, that resonates very well for a webinar topic for a lot of people. And as you can see, there are multiple others, and we are going to send you a copy of this presentation today so that you can reflect on it beyond our presentation today. Now, here we hear a lot from advisors saying, well, how much should I be investing in my marketing? Well, here's another chart that we have that filters some of that information. Over this past year, if advisors were adding 10 or fewer clients to their book of business, their average marketing spend was $7.2 thousand year to year. For those that are gaining or adding 10 to 19 clients, on average, they're investing $15,000, or a little over $15,000 per year on their marketing budget. And for those strong growth-oriented advisors that are gaining 20 or more clients, and yes, this is happening. This is a reality. Make no mistake about it. They're investing $22,000 per year. So just kind of take a look at that and see if, now we don't want to think in terms of spending money as much as investing money. Make sure that the marketing areas that you are investing in has an ROI. We at Broadridge, through our marketing consultants, we're very good at sharing with you the type of ROI you can expect as a result of some of the products and services that we offer. Also, our email marketing system, our websites, they all have an analytics page that you can turn to that will support the direction your marketing is going. And this is an example of the analytics page of a website. It tells you how many visitors come to your website, what pages on your website they look at, how much time are they spending on your website, etc. This is very helpful and important, so you can break down and see what articles are of most interest to them. Sorry, folks, we're not able to tell you what the name of these visitors are on the website, but we can tell you who they are on your email marketing, which is also very attractive. With or without COVID, it has always been attractive and generates, for every dollar invested, the average rate or return on investment is $430. So that is a strong feature to look at as you go forward. Activate your plan. This is an example of a marketing calendar where it shows, I hope you can see some of the writing here, where this advisor has developed a marketing plan that includes social media posts. It includes website posts. It includes a webinar. It includes meeting with your clients for annual reviews. And we are going to share with you a template. We call it a marketing plan, digital marketing plan template, where it has fillable fields, and we will take you by the hand so that you can go through this marketing plan template and simply fill in the blanks, either on the keyboard or print it out and write it in with your pen or pencil. And if you would like to have that, I'm going to give you some information here on how to contact us. This is the best way under COVID, is our toll-free phone number or going to our website. But I would encourage anybody who immediately wants access to the template, the digital marketing plan template that you can begin to build your marketing plan with, simply call and you will be put in contact with one of our very capable marketing consultants. We will also provide for you the marketing survey that Broadridge conducted that helps you understand a little more depth and detail regarding the survey as well as the study that we concluded with. But anyway, Brian, that concludes my presentation today. We hope to hear from any of you that would have an interest in a follow-up visit. I promise you, it'll be a pleasure to visit with one of our marketing consultants. We will treat you very professionally and courteously, and we'll only move at the pace that you want to move at. I assure you of that. So, Brian, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dave. We'll be glad to open it up to a few minutes of questions here. Please go ahead and enter those into the GoToWebinar questions panel. And while you do that, just a couple of things to reiterate. For those of you who joined, we will send a copy of the presentation from today as well as that marketing plan template And I can certainly shamelessly plug some of the Broadridge Advisor Solutions tools. They have some plug-in features all the way up to really becoming your full-blown outsourced marketing department and getting their experience and best practices kind of automated for you. So if you're looking to enhance things in that area, it's certainly worth a conversation.
That's great. Thank you for that comment, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right. With that, it doesn't look like we have any other questions for today, but thank you again to Dave Briggs and Broadridge, and thank you all for joining us on this Epic Insight webinar. We certainly wish you safety and health as you support your families, colleagues, and clients, and wish you happy holidays and a happy new year if we don't talk to you before that. Thank you all. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.